All right, let me take these things off. Welcome back, guys. I just decided to do a channel chat just because I'm kind of at a point with projects where I'm kind of stuck for a couple days, anyways, and I wanted to say hi and talk about something. And that kind of leads into the song. I had been having conversations with family, which made me remember something. Um, I don't know if a lot of you will know the band the BoDeans or not, but they are another local group. I know that I'm going to be going to visit Waukesha uh, because of Les Paul, but also from Waukesha were the BoDeans, uh, started by Sammy Lannis and his partner, and they had pretty big success around here locally, and I think moderate success nationwide. I know I've talked with people in other areas that weren't aware of who they were, but they had some modest hits with one of their songs called "Fade Away," and the one that I was sort of playing at the beginning there, called "Closer to Free," which was probably their biggest hit, mid '90s, and that coincided being the theme song for a show called Party of Five, and I'll put a picture up there of that. You might recognize a few of the folks showed up in a few things later, but the thing about the BoDeans, it was kind of cool. It got me thinking about the local music scene. Besides, Les Paul's from Waukesha, there's a whole bunch of other things in our local area where we have bands that got pretty decent national exposure. Maybe not on the level of your Journeys or REO Speedwagon or anything like that, but um, the BoDeans were one of them. And the reason that I decided to have this, it's kind of just an interesting story, and I'll put the disclaimer here. I was not around when the story happened. My wife knows of it, but was not around when the story happened. So this is all secondhand information from my wife and my mother-in-law. So anyhow, go on to say, Sammy Lannis, the lead singer, had a brother, Dude Lannis. Yes, Dude. He goes by Dude. And apparently, back in the day, my mother-in-law dated Dude for a while. So they got to go to the concerts and hang around and do a lot of things. And at some point, and I am not entirely sure what the year would have been. Um, Probably, I want to say late 80s, early 90s, because that would be before I met my wife, or who would become my wife. Sorry, Becky. Um, Anyhow, uh, the BoDeans got a gig opening for U2, and I'm not entirely sure what part of the tour this took place on, but and I wish I had pictures to prove it. This was an era where there wasn't cell phone cameras all the time, where there'd probably be all sorts of things that would be out there. But at any point, uh, my mom and Dude and the BoDeans all had dinner with U2. So by 6 degrees of separation, or probably less given the layers, I have a connection to both the BoDeans and U2. We think the BoDeans are probably cooler around here, but the just knowing that happened, my wife even has somewhere in all of our collection of stuff, we have a bootleg cassette of some recordings that the BoDeans did. I'll have to see if I can find that. That was kind of cool. And a cassette, kids, that's what came after 8 tracks, but before CDs. So I'm dating myself a little bit there. Um, so that was, yeah, I just thought that was kind of an interesting story, and I thought I'd start out with that because that gave me a reason to play some guitar too. But a couple other things I did. Speaking of why I'm doing this, I'm kind of stuck on the Supro over there right now because I'm waiting for some nut files to come in. They were on the thumbnail, but I'll post a picture over here too. Just I'm getting the little kit that's actually supposed to be used to clean off welding tips or something, but a lot of people use them as nut files, and they were cheap and fit the budget right now, so I'll have those soon, and hopefully I'll be finishing up that project. If you follow that series at all, I'm kind of stuck looking at the electronics. I've made the executive decision just to kind of tuck them away as best I can and revisit those later because I want to be able to play something on it. And then once those nut files are in, I'm gonna try and string it up and see if we can make some noise with it. The Yeah, that's gonna be so that'll be the end of the series for now. and I'll get into that more into the videos. I just had a couple other ideas for short things that I could do in between, if I were to get new gear or anything else, or get going on the pedal board. The pedal board's something else that's kind of taking a back seat right now because it is Christmas time, and working on a tight budget, I'm putting a lot more into making sure Christmas happens. So some of these projects that require me to buy stuff like the pedal board are going to get pushed down the road a little bit. Quick things that I can do with what I've got on hand. If you go back to my LTD Viper, which is the SG style guitar, back over there, it's perfectly behind me, so you can't see it anyhow. But it's LTD Viper. I did a My Guitars thing on it, and the only problem I had was I just wasn't feeling it. And after doing some of the work I did on my Elevation, including cleaning up the neck and the feeding wax on it, got me to thinking, I've never changed the strings on that guitar, which that's number one in things that if you're not liking the way something feels, you put your preferred strings on it. Um, and I did look at the end of there. There's no colored balls on there, so they're not Diodario strings. I don't know what they could be, just whatever LTD throws on in the factory where the Chinese ones are made. So that's number one. I'm going to have to use the calipers to figure out what's on there, 10s or 9s. I've got a set of both the Darios, which I'm going to throw on there. And I'm going to do a whole setup on that to give it another chance, to see if I can get that fretboard feeling the way I like. And if I get the action dialed in, maybe I'll actually feel a little more at home with that one instead of having buyer's remorse about it. One of the other guitars that I thought I could do a quick project on is my UV Vodka Flying V. Maybe dip my feet into soldering in front of all of you, because that's one I've got to fix. The volume pot just doesn't work right. It's a two-way swell. It never goes all the way down. You can't do it. So either I roached the pot and I'll have to get a new one, which then that's what it is, or I did something wrong, which I suspect I soldered something wrong in there. That'll be a quick one that I can do. Besides the nut files that were there, I forgot to mention just sandpaper. I could not find my sandpaper, and I saw that on the Zon. 72 pieces of various grits, all the way from 300 to, or 600 to 3,000. So any projects coming up that I need that for, I'll have that. With Christmas being around the corner, I am Ted at Ted Talks Guitar and Brant over at Tone Jaeger. Both did Acklot guitar kit builds, two different guitars, and that's kind of given me the inspiration that I think that's if Santa's not good to me and I haven't gotten or won anything like that, I will be saving my pennies that I do get from Santa to go towards one of those kits, because I really want to do a kit build just to get a better idea of how everything goes. And being unfinished, I'll get to finish it a little bit. And I kind of thought that I've been looking at some green and yellow dyes to use on the top of those. If you look at those kits, they have a flamed maple top. So I'd like to see if I can get a Green Bay Packers burst of sort on it with a yellow and green burst around the outside. We'll see. And then I've got to look at what colors I want to do on the back, because I think I'll probably stick with a more traditional brown or stain of some sort, just to show off the grain on the back and on the back of the neck. Don't know what I'll do on the headstock yet, but a bridge to be crossed. Got to get the kit first, so that'll happen. And then one of the things I did talk about in the last one, I did get a lot of you saying that, yeah, you'd be interested in seeing the Les Paul Museum if I get a chance to do that. That's just a matter of finding the time to spend a couple of days bopping around Waukesha to get pictures of all the murals and the guitars that are out there. With my son coming home for vacation during Christmas, I don't know, maybe if he and I have a day where it's just the two of us, maybe we'll go make a day of doing that. But that'll be coming up after the holidays too. That's something I wanted to do. Yeah, that's about it. I'm hoping that in the next couple of days I get everything I need, so I'll see you back on the bench on Sunday. And thank you everybody for stopping by. I don't have any other major updates that I can think of, but if I do, I can always post something else up, or maybe just a short instead of something longer like this. So, as usual, thanks again, and until next time, guys.